Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Teachers made their displeasure known in a demonstration to the Ministry of Education after a series of bomb scares forced the Ave Maria school to be evacuated. The school had to activate its emergency plan and relocate students to the Mindo Phillip Park due to the hoaxes targeting the courthouse in the heart of the city. There are calls from teachers, parents, and drivers for the court to be relocated due to the ensuing chaos that its presence has brought about. We took to the streets to get your views on the matter.
In the first place, that courthouse should never be right where it is there. It should never be. That, as we know, that the previous courthouse is going through lots of problems. Government after government spend a lot of money to organize this courthouse, which is the courthouse which I born and meet there. They was trying to dismantle it or break it down. Lots of political affiliation come and talk about that. But I feel to myself, you see where the cultural center, whoever make that suggestion that they should have that they should put the courthouse there, which I accepted it. It should be located at the cultural center. Make a courthouse at the where the cultural center located, and that should be a place exactly for a courthouse, away from the city.
Take it out right because they have school children around there. Why don't you put it by the Prime Minister resident? That's what it had to be, by the Prime Minister resident, or get somewhere else to put it because they have school children all around there. They have all the bus drivers around there. Just take them out from there, put them in another place where they're not even making money, right? And they just put a courthouse. A courthouse not supposed to be in the middle of town. So a courthouse supposed to be by the cultural center or somewhere else, but not in the middle of town like that. Or put it back where it was before.
Before the last Prime Minister said somewhere on the Millennium Highway.
Say it again?
I believe the relocation there, it was somewhere on the Millennium Highway. What's your thoughts on that?
It was, yes, that was a good idea. It was a good idea. But a courthouse cannot be in the middle of town, Coral Street, and they have a REC Boys School, Ave Maria School, and people up and down, and then even have place for the people to stand to sit. Outside they don't sit. Many times I pass in and see people stand outside waiting for them to call their names. That's not fair enough. Put it by the Prime Minister resident, it's better there.
It don't need to be there, take it out. And what that really burned me again is the mothers and fathers, they gone to the office of the ministry and nobody not taking them on. You mean to tell me the chief education can't come downstairs if the police want them to enter? She can't come downstairs and talk to them? Of course she could have been with them. They don't have to be upstairs, they don't have to be in the crowd. But she could have come and talk to them. So that courthouse have to go, man. The children is getting themselves sick of that is going on there. That stop, man.
Relocation of the courthouse is not the problem. The problem is the people and them that making the threats. And the law and order need to get down to the bottom of this. So they will have a way of finding out the people and them that are doing that. But the courthouse is not a problem there.
Qui a dit bombe là try arrêter c'est ça implémenter là because ça mettre petit maman moun à dans jeopardy ça pas bon pour les affaires.
Those were your views in our Have Your Say segment. Following what he described as a very successful month of events at the Royal St. Lucia Turf Club, Prime Minister Alan Shastney says his excitement for Southern development only continues to grow. Prime Minister Shastney, having freshly returned from a series of negotiations, assures that this is only the first of many developments to come for Vieux-Fort.
Very excited. And then, look, the airport project has started, St. Jude's has started, and you can feel the economic activity now in the South. And I think that people are genuinely starting to believe that the South is going to take off. And I want certainly the people in the North to know that this is to help St. Lucia, because we need to be able to expand the capacity of our country to be able to grow. I had some very successful meetings in Washington, D.C. I'm hoping as soon as I've signed the contracts that I can make a major pronouncement that would really put St. Lucia at a completely different level when it comes to our airport facility.
Speaking on the Us Dessau project, which was launched in January of this year, Prime Minister Shastney assured that the entire beach will remain public and special effort will be put into the provision of public amenities. He said he is determined to progress swiftly on several ongoing projects, many of which he says will break ground in January 2020.
And I'm also ecstatic about the Sandy Beach project. That's a project that we've wanted for a very, very long time. And so the idea is to build a new road along the fence of the airport to get into the Vieux-Fort town. And then where the concrete road will become a boardwalk, and on inside of the boardwalk, that we will be subdividing 100 acres of land there and putting in locations for small businesses, for solutions and people from the region to be able to invest in. This is just the beginning, you know, so the horse racing track is laid down. The second part is the hotel and the university development that's taking place at the entrance. So the same location where the concert's going to be taking place. Hopefully in early January, we'll be breaking ground in that area. And then we also have the lake that's going to go, a freshwater lake, 30-acre lake that's going to be going in the back with 2 hotel developments, and then the residential that's going to be taking place in here.
Prime Minister Shasni says that this southern development should not be seen as internal competition, but instead it should be viewed for its contribution to the holistic development of St. Lucia by increasing its competitiveness in the tourism sector. The Department of Gender Relations has launched a 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. An emphasis on the importance of gender-based equality was the focus of the launch. A sea of orange flooded the conference room as the official theme for International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women is Orange the World. Generation Equality Stands Against Rape. Solange Alfred tells us more.
A show of support by the Gender Relations Department took place on Monday, 25th November, as the world observed International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. The color orange filled the conference room at the Gender Relations Office, as orange is used to signify a stance against rape and inequality of women. Acting Director of Gender Relations, Janie Joseph, says a strategic approach must be implemented by the department to address gender-based violence.
We are responsible for ensuring institutional strengthening. We are responsible for ensuring legislation. We are responsible for ensuring that there is accountability so as to ensure that the systems are sufficiently structured in a way so as to prevent, so as to identify the causes of, and so as to be able to monitor what exactly is happening and intervene in a way that is systematic, that is strategic, and eventually would lead to the shared global goal of ending gender-based violence by 2030.
Joseph says 3 main areas will be the focus for the Gender Relations Department moving forward. The 3 areas include institutional strengthening, strengthening of accountability, and development of legislation.
With reference to the development of legislation, the Department of Gender Relations had a consultation in March of this year on gender-based violence. One of the aspects of that consultation was the review of the domestic violence bill of 2016. And what came out of this consultation was that we needed to do a comparative review of that piece of legislation with the existing 1995 Act, that's the Domestic Violence Summary Proceedings Act of 1995.
The Acting Director of Gender Relations says provisions are being looked at to address sexual harassment. She says only the Labor Act provides provisions for sexual harassment cases, and a thrust by Gender Relations will be placed on reviewing and identifying within the laws legislation specific to sexual harassment in and out of the workplace. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. Motorcycles are often referred to as big boys' toys. Recently, there has been a shift in St. Lucian bike culture in which women are taking up motorcycle riding in record numbers. Women are no longer interested in being just the pillion rider, but they are taking control of riding the bike. This passion by women in St. Lucia has fueled a group of female riders to form a motorcycle riding club called Sesame Street Riders and Friends, SSR. With the backdrop of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force's Round the Island Memorial Ride, SSR Vice President Julie Bonnet highlighted that fun and safety go hand in hand for the club.
The club started with 3 of us. It was just 3 of us, and we're We're at a membership of 15 now, and it's growing. We have persons who are applying to become members. And of course, first and foremost, as I said before, is safety. Primary importance is safety. You must have your helmet every single time that you're riding, your gloves and motorcycle boots.
She says the mission is to revolutionize the public's perception of riders by promoting road safety and responsibility when operating motorcycles and other motor vehicles. Bonnet says that the Sesame Street bikers welcome interested and strong-willed young women.
We have, you asked whether persons, young ladies, whether it's easy for them to ride. And I would say that if you have the heart for it, if you are afraid, they're not going to get on the motorcycle. But if you have the heart for it, the passion for wind therapy, then of course the place to come is the Sesame Street Bikers.
To register, call 489-3899 or visit the Facebook page Sesame Street Riders and Friends. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.